Welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric Pincus, and today we're going to take a look at the New York Knicks draft pick table. Before we begin, please take a quick look at the description to make sure you're looking at the most recent version of this video. If the Knicks make another trade before the draft, I'll need to re-record because this will be out of date. Also, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell and you'll be appraised of any of my new content. Also, if you're feeling generous, you'll see the Patreon, Venmo, and PayPal links. And if you're interested in joining my Discord server, hit me up with a message. All right, so let's talk the New York Knicks. The team is in a position of strength because they have all of their own first-round picks from 2021 to 2027. And if you go by the 7-year rule, that's the playing field. Teams can only trade over the next 7 drafts. And they also have, beyond their own 7 picks, they have 2 from the Dallas Mavericks. First, they have 2021, this upcoming draft, and then they also have 2000 and 2023. And again, those both came from the Kristaps Porzingis trade. And that first pick is unprotected in 2021, which means if Dallas stumbles and falls and doesn't make the playoffs, if they win the lottery and they go number 1, that's the Knicks pick. In the second case, in 2023, that pick is top 10 protected over multiple years. And what that means is that if it's 1 through 10, Dallas keeps it in 2023, they keep it in 2024, they keep it in 2025. And if it is top 10 in 2025, then it will convert just to a 2025 second. I would expect at some point the Mavericks finish in the 11 through 30 range, either in 23, 24, 25, probably 2023. But that possibility does exist that pick will convey as a second-round pick instead of a first. And then beyond Dallas, the Knicks do have swap rights with the Clippers in this particular draft, 2021, from the Marcus Morris trade. As of the All-Star break, the Clippers had a 4.5 game advantage over the Knicks and thus would get a lower pick. And so it would only make sense for New York to swap if they're climbing in the draft. They wouldn't swap to move down. Technically, that pick is also top 4 protected for the Clippers, but it is beyond unlikely that they will have a top 4 pick. And so New York, with all of their own firsts, plus 2 from Dallas, have a lot to offer if they were going to make a trade, if there was an opportunity to make a blockbuster deal. There is a limit, however, on what they can send out because of what's known as the Stepien rule. Dating back to the early 80s, the Cleveland Cavaliers had an owner named Ted Stepien who traded away a bunch of firsts, and it didn't fare well for the team, and the NBA didn't want them to trade away all of their future firsts. So they put in a rule that you can't have 2 drafts in a row without at least 1 first-round pick. And so with that in mind, how many picks can the Knicks trade in the first round? Well, if they sent out both picks in 2021, their own and Dallas, then they would need to have one in 2022 because of the Stepien rule. And then they could send out both picks in 2023, but then 2024 would be restricted. They could do 25 and 27, but 26 would be restricted. They have to have a first in every other year in future drafts. And so the Knicks could technically trade 6 first-round picks, which is obviously a lot and probably more than you would ever use in one particular trade. Additionally, New York can offer swaps, which is similar to what they have with the Clippers. They could do swaps pretty much on all of their future firsts as well. It doesn't violate the Stepien rule because you still have a pick. It doesn't have to be your pick. It just has to be a pick. The Knicks are also pretty well stocked in the second round as well. They do owe their 2021 second-round pick to the Philadelphia 76ers. That's an obligation from acquiring Willie Hernangomez some time ago. And then they do get the Detroit 2021 second-round pick, which, given at least at the All-Star break, the Pistons were 29th in the league in standings, which means that pick could be somewhere in the neighborhood of 31, 32, 33. And that's a complex trade. The Pistons sent that to the Sixers for Kyrie Thomas, and then the Sixers sent that to the Clippers for Tobias Harris, and then the Clippers sent that to New York as part of the Marcus Morris deal. That could be a very valuable pick. It's almost like having another first-round pick in the 2021 draft. The Knicks will also get the Pistons' second-round pick in 2023, following a similar route where it went to Philadelphia and then it went to the Clippers, same path, but then it went to the Minnesota Timberwolves from the Clippers for Daniel Uturu, and then from Minnesota to New York for the rights to Leandro Bolmaro The Knicks also used their cap space over the offseason to take on Ed Davis's contract from the Utah Jazz. New York sent out $110,000 in cash, which is the least that a team can send in a trade in lieu of a player or the rights to a player or a draft pick. And in return, with Davis, the Knicks got a Utah 2023 second rounder and then a 2024 second rounder that will be the higher pick from the Cavaliers or the Jazz. That's from a previous trade Utah made centered around Rodney Hood and Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose with the Cavaliers. So the higher pick, so if the Cavaliers are worse, then the Knicks would get the Cavaliers pick that year. New York then turned Davis around in trade to the Timberwolves for both Jacob Evans and Omari Spellman, who they subsequently waived, and then the Knicks got a 2026 second-round pick from the Timberwolves. All right, so let's put those two deals together. The Knicks sent out $110,000, and by using their cap space, the Knicks got second-rounders in 2023, 2024, and 26. They were also responsible for paying out about $4 million in salaries to Evans and Spellman. So in a sense, New York purchased 3 second-round picks for $4.1 million. And in total, the Knicks have either 11 or 12 second-round picks over the next 7 years. Their own 2021 goes to Philadelphia, but then they'll have Detroit's in 2021 and then in 2023. They'll also have Utah in 2023, and then in 2024, the higher of the Utah Jazz and Cavs pick. In 2025, they'll get Dallas, but only if that first-round pick doesn't convey in 23, 24, and 25. Remember, that has top 10 protection. And then finally, 2026 from Minnesota. As we noted earlier, they are well-stocked in the first round with all of their own picks, plus the Dallas pick in 2021 and a protected pick in 2023. The Knicks have not had a lot of success in recent years on the court, but they are, at least by the All-Star break, in position to make the playoffs. They have in the neighborhood of $15 million in cap room to make a deal at the deadline, be it a small one or even a blockbuster. And if they do find a big trade to make, they have plenty of first-round picks to offer if there's a trade that will help them make a bigger step forward. Well, that should do it for today. That's the New York Knicks draft pick table. Please like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. You'll know when my next video is up. Also, if you're feeling generous, in the description you will find my PayPal, my Patreon, and my Venmo links. Any little bit helps, goes right back into the channel. Also, if you're interested in my Discord server, just reach out. My name is Pincus. Thank you for watching.